Thank you for listening. This episode is sponsored by The Watts Announcer, a media brand dedicated to spotlighting the next wave of talent and entertainment from movies to TV and everything in between. The inaugural interview features the cast of Frame of Reference, hosted by Amanda Gaddison. Watch it exclusively on the Watts Prod YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a drop.
Hello and welcome to It Doesn't Work That Way with me, Kalisha Zachery.
And me, Kachelle Zachery.
How are you, friend?
You know what? I want to take a serious moment. I really, really do. And I really want to encourage everyone that's hearing the sound of my voice. It's normal to admit when you are wrong. Let's normalize admitting when we are wrong and acknowledging or coming into the awareness that accountability is the dopest shit ever.
I love it.
Accountability is a superpower, especially when you know you played a part in anything. If you played a part in something, it is okay to say, you know what? I was wrong.
I fucked up.
Right. It's okay to take accountability for your actions. And I understand that the majority of the time that we normally have to take accountability is often when we've done something wrong. I get that. But we have to begin to make that very honorable. We really do. It is honorable when you can look someone in the eye and say, I'm sorry. I was wrong, or I got that wrong, or at the time I might not have realized it, but I've had time to think about it. I was wrong. And accountability is not a disease. Accountability actually helps healing. Accountability actually grows maturity. Accountability actually makes you look dope. It actually gives you some leverage. Accountability make you look hot. When you can be like, you know what? I did that. I fucked up and I'm sorry. And that's just where I got to go with that. And I'm still on that positive tip. So with that, I say, I'm still spreading love, peace, joy, kindness, all those things that make us good people. And I'm also wanting to address the reality that everybody can't be a perpetual victim. And that we should really leave that victim space open for true victims. Because at times there are people that have truly been victimized. But a lot of the choices that some people tend to make in a situation, like that was you. You chose to do that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You may not have got the outcome that you wanted, but you still made that choice to do it. And if you make sloppy choices or you make coward decisions, take accountability for that shit. See, I'm going somewhere else. Let me rein that back.
So today, Kachelle said, I'm going to go ahead and dive in the pool. But I'm going to go ahead and take us out the pool, and we're going to set the pool stage up.
Okay.
Today, we're diving into a topic that resonates with anyone trying to break into a passion, a career, or an industry. Specifically, well, let me say this, especially when the dream doesn't match the reality.
Well.
Now, Netflix recently released America's Next Top Model documentary, Pause for Memory Lane. If you are of the age and you were born well after this show came out, or you were born well after this show came out, I will say this. It is a bingeable show.
It is.
It's maybe cycles 1 through 5.
I think at the time I was alive, at the time the show came out, I remember it like very well. I only watched cycle 1 and 2, the first 2 seasons. After that,
I got to 5. I think I got to 5.
You made it to 5. I only made it to 2. I made it to 2.
So Tyra Banks, supermodel, she is older now. So some of you may have to actually Google her. She was a big deal.
She was.
A huge deal.
She was.
She was a black Barbie.
She was.
That was a literal black Barbie in a movie called Life Size with Lindsay Lohan.
She was.
She was the first black model.
Can I say?
To be on Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition.
She was. And pause. Anytime I hear first black anything, I get annoyed. Well, that sounds crazy. And continue.
Well, we're leaving it better for the next generation.
We are.
She was a Victoria's Secret supermodel.
She was.
She walked the runway with Chanel, Isaac Mara. She's the real deal supermodel.
Yeah,
when supermodels were everything. They had commercials. You had Cindy Crawford. You had supermodels at the height of the industry. But like America, all the opportunities were not given equally to women of color. Tyra was there. Tyra, Naomi, Kimora, Iman, Beverly Johnson, Cynthia Bailey.
Well,
these women paved the way for what you see now on Instagram. Like, Instagram has opened up the gates for a lot of people to model, but before it was only a select few.
It was.
That were being paid millions of dollars just to wake up in the morning and go down a runway. Tyra was one of those women. So to us, she was also an actress. She was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She played Will's nemesis, co-worker / girlfriend. She starred in movies like John Singleton's Higher Learning. Tyra did her thing.
She did now.
Then Tyra came up with a premise to create America's Next Top Model, which had pretty much everybody in my generation in a chokehold on a television network called UPN.
I was there. A lot of our culture coined that network.
Underpaid Negroes.
I was there for that too.
Tyra came up with a concept to be able to say, hey, I am going to create a world where models that don't fit the mold, dark-skinned models, plus-size models, medium-sized models, can come in and get lucrative modeling contracts and become superstars. I think the most famous model that came through that cycle was Eva Pickford.
Okay.
She went on to do movies, Real Housewives of Atlanta, yada, yada, yada. So people did come through Tyra's show, America's Next Top Model. It's bingeable.
It is.
Now, at the time, we had no idea
that they was going through hell.
That they were going through literal hell. Literal hell. Is all of that hell Tyra's fault?
I can't say that it is.
Okay.
And I can't say that it ain't.
Yeah.
It's kind of wavering on both sides of the spectrum. Because on one side, it was her idea, it was her pitch, it was her vision, and she was in damn near every season. You know what I'm saying? So it was built around her concept. It was built around her experiences. So I think that she was either driving the hell or she was compromising for the hell. Somebody wasn't stopping the hell.
Somebody was saying, let the hell rage on.
As long as I'm eating, as long as I'm good.
This show was in over 100 countries.
I think 180 to be exact.
So this show was big. It was like, I'm going to say, I was going to say Michael Jackson big. This show was big.
Yeah, now leave Mike out of it.
I'm going to leave Mike, but
stop trying to put Michael Jackson.
We use Michael Jackson as a barometer for
facts, and leave him there. Because what he did, I ain't seen nobody else do.
You won't.
Okay.
You won't see it.
So the question, let's jump down to the question.
So I think I set up Tyra pretty good.
I think you set her up well.
Hold on, Kachelle.
Let me flip. Let me ask you the question.
But okay.
Let me ask you the question.
All right, go ahead.
If a show is led by a black woman,
like frame of reference,
and centers young women chasing opportunity, shouldn't that automatically mean the system behind it is empowering women? I mean, representation at that top level should protect the people inside of it, right?
It doesn't work that way. Can I say this?
I agree. Please.
I watched a documentary And I was so disappointed in Tyra Banks.
My disappointment was right up there with yours.
Because the image I had of Tyra was, you would hear stuff about Tyra Banks is difficult to work with. And I would be like, yeah, she probably, y'all difficult is just her norm of demanding respect. So is it that she's difficult, or you just don't want to respect her because she's a black woman? And I'm not the type of person that says everything is racist, but when it is racist, I'ma say it's racist. And Tyra Banks, in her face, I know she got racism even though I wasn't there. Okay, so I had an image of her that she was that protector.
I had the same image, and then we watched the documentary. Shout out to Netflix. It was very well done.
Very well done. The producers did a great job.
The producers of the documentary did a great job. But in the documentary, we saw a black woman-led show.
Yes.
Operating within and at times reinforcing the very industry standards it claimed to challenge. That shocked me.
Make it make sense.
A black contestant being told to close her gap. And I love the way she fought for her gap in that series. I loved you. I love the way Danielle, shout out. You were empowering me even in your fight. Even though you had to make a difficult decision, your fight for the gap itself was the most beautifulest thing I've seen on television, and I applaud you for it. You gave me so much love and affirmation in that, because the way you were proud. You're like, this is my superpower, and it is. Tyra, expressing to a white contestant that your gap is on, that your gap should be celebrated, that your gap is edgy, and your gap is high fashion. It's like, wait a minute.
They created her a gap, if I'm not mistaken, or I don't know.
I can't even go there. The contradiction forces a deeper question. When do you disrupt the system? And when do you end up conforming to it to survive? So you said, it was the onus on her. She created this show. The show was her brainchild. Then the documentary showed us what she was willing to do to just make sure that the show survived, period. I mean, she was just out there doing some crazy ass shit. It just looked crazy. But the documentary also exposed the tension between representation and power, how quickly leadership can be pressured into protecting ratings, maintaining status, chasing perceived influence, and participating in industry games that compromise integrity. That's what was shocking to me. We saw the greed, we saw the optics, we saw the control, we saw the exploitation of ambition. She was willing to pretty much do anything to keep that show on. And it was just like, how much can you possibly have? It's the highest rating show. I'm sure y'all made great money off of the show. Was that not enough?
Evidently, it wasn't.
So there's a lot to unpack in this show. We're going to jump right into it. On It Doesn't Work That Way. Just because someone who looks like you is at the top,
it doesn't mean you're safe.
Everybody thinks they've got life all figured out. But are you sure about that? Join Mario and Chris as they break down the assumptions, the myths, and the surface level narratives that shape how we see ourselves and each other. Subscribe to Are You Sure About That? And rethink what you thought you knew. Listen to Are You Sure About That? Anywhere you get your podcasts.
I know Tyra went through some challenging times as a supermodel.
I agree.
One of the first Black American beauties. I get it. I understand her intention for the show. On the documentary, she skated around accountability like she was Oksana Bayul.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Okay, she did backflips on the ice.
It was wild.
And even though you did what you felt you needed to do to make it at the expense of whomever, there are women that you did help. Tyra Tyra Banks helped Black women.
She did.
That's a point blank period. She helped plus size women.
She did.
So I'm not going to diminish everything she did because of her
Some
actions.
blunders, yes.
And taking accountability,
man, would have been so dope.
Would have been the best thing you could have done ever. That would have been your superpower.
And she may have felt like she was doing it by even being in the documentary. So she may have felt like this is my form of taking accountability, although you're not hearing me come right out and say, you know, I was dead wrong on a lot of things that I did. And, you know, she may not have done it to our liking, but I feel like maybe that was her way of doing it. But what I really hear you saying is that representation doesn't automatically equal protection.
I'm saying representation doesn't automatically equal protection. I'm saying that there are people in this industry that will run over your mama and her two legs to get to where they're going.
Damn.
And they will not look twice at you. You have to know what you want. And there was one young lady on this documentary they showed, and I remember this episode where she got down the catwalk and she was like, this is not for me. And before Tyra could try to talk her out of it or give the spiel, she turned around and she left. That young lady, I wish they could have got an interview with her to say, what made you choose your agency to say, you know what, this is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
That is being able to that's a superpower. Knowing your agency, I'm not comfortable here anymore. I don't like what's going on anymore. I'm not going to close my gap. All of that
mattered.
It matters. But every single thing that Tyra Banks went through, every single thing that the women on that show went through, those are lessons to be learned if you're willing to seek out the lesson. You don't have to go through that. Fear of missing out,
I can't stand FOMO.
But if it doesn't align to your values, like I don't like how they treating us, I don't like what production is doing to us.
That's a no-brainer.
You should be able to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And just because there's a panel of Black women doesn't mean you're safe.
Facts. I think the documentary taught me about forms of leadership, if that makes sense. So even though she was the leader, there was something relatable about her looking like me or being from my community or being able to relate to my experiences. It was still instinctively being outlined in a very beautiful way, the way they outlined the documentary, that she still had answers. She still had the answer to power structures.
Yeah, she had
the advertisers, the networks, the stakeholders, the audience demand. She did not have full freedom and control, but I still felt like she, at minimum, she could have made sure that all those contestants were protected at minimum. And sometimes that's uncomfortable because it shifts blames from the industry to individuals navigating it. Mm-hmm. And she was the individual navigating the show. Mm-hmm. Unless, you know, they left that part out.
I think she was the individual navigating the show up until a point.
Okay.
And then I think it fell off. And I think her superpower, if she hasn't already done this, will be to call every single individual that she could and where she needs to apologize. And she knows where she needs to apologize.
She does.
You know where you need to apologize.
She does.
She needs to give it. And then any apologies that need to be given to her may come.
I think,
like you said,
be what you seek.
Be what you seek.
Be what you seek.
Be the accountability that you seek, and then it could come back to her when she needs it. And I'm sure she does. I'm not throwing Tyra Banks out the water.
Oh no! I'm not throwing Tyra away. And I am a bit shocked by Tyra.
Me too.
Because what we saw in the documentary wasn't just about beauty standards. It was about conformity and a Black woman-led platform still reinforcing white-centered standards of beauty.
What made them think it was okay to have models dress in blackface?
That.
What?
I'm sorry, but the gap I can't get over.
Yeah, and you shouldn't, because
a contestant being told to close her gap while another was celebrated for hers. That contradiction reveals something deeper. That's a deep contradiction. Proximity to power doesn't guarantee freedom from it. She still conformed to that level of standard. It's like, you are a Black woman. You should have, she didn't have the freedom that we thought she had, and she wasn't protecting the way we thought she was. And the whole documentary, if you haven't seen it, is worth the watch. It's a complete eye-opener. And I was just shocked by the level of exploitation, the level of just lack of like somebody should have said no. The drug photo, they should have said no.
Yeah.
The blackface photos, they should have said no.
One where the girl got shot in the head and her mom had got shot.
Yes. The violence photos, they should have said no. The young lady being sexually harassed on set in real time, where she was telling the gentleman no, and Tyra was just like, oh, you kind of got to just deal with it.
Just push him. Like, that's not okay.
It was wild.
That's why we all talking about the Epstein files, because nobody was going to say nothing.
Oh, that's a whole nother episode.
It's not okay. It's not cool.
It's not.
It's not cool.
What do we say to the people that's listening to this episode and they say, well, they signed up for that?
This is what I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
When you are giddy and passionate about something,
mm-hmm.
sometimes common sense and reason goes out the front door.
Okay.
You willing to sign a contract you ain't read. You just willing to look at the opportunity. So to judge people for that, I wouldn't, especially in a new medium. At that time, reality TV wasn't what it is today.
It was not. We didn't have the level of social media platforms that we have today. We didn't have the smartphones at the onset of that show. We didn't have none of the technology that we have today.
Still using flip phones.
Flip phones, and had MySpace, maybe. So
look it up if you don't know
what MySpace is. So there wasn't that level of technology that we have today, where everything is truly in handheld. We didn't have that at the onset of that show. And because we did not know the behind the scenes,
right.
The documentary was so interesting to me because it showed us the scenes behind the scenes.
It did.
It showed us powerful.
And there's even more footage, raw footage on the floor that would probably even blow our minds even more. They edited it down to what they wanted us to see. But don't judge anybody who walked into that situation in a new medium, a new platform, not really understanding what was going to happen. Now, that back then, but now I would say you got too much research to be able to go back and watch all them episodes, see how these people was edited,
right.
to be able to tell yourself, you know what, I think I'm a pass. I don't,
no doubt.
I don't want to do that. So if you signing up for something now,
be careful.
But you know what it is.
You Left That Part Out is an editorial podcast hosted by Kalisha, Zachery that restores the missing context behind today's biggest headlines. With thoughtful analysis and honest conversation, the show helps listeners think more clearly in a world built for speed, because most Americans aren't uninformed, they're underinformed on purpose. If you're ready to challenge assumptions, read beyond the headline, and engage ideas with discipline and curiosity, you're in the right place. Listen to You Left That Part Out anywhere you get your podcasts.
Yeah, because when success is measured by viewership, controversy, profit margins, human development becomes secondary.
Correct.
And the deeper issue is you can start with the intention to empower and slowly begin making concessions for the good of the show. So then it starts to become about the ratings, about the brand, about longevity. And one small compromise becomes a pattern. And that's what we saw in that documentary.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the lesson here today, Kalisha?
What's the lesson?
I think that disruption requires more than presence.
Mm-hmm.
It requires structural change. It requires courage to lose power in order to keep integrity.
Yeah.
Because if you must sacrifice people to maintain the platform, then the platform was never the point.
It was never the point.
That's what the documentary reveals. And that's the trap. You think you're changing the system, but if you're not careful, the system changes you. That's what the documentary revealed. And I'm shocked by it, but it's an excellent watch. It's an excellent case study. It's an excellent view. It's an excellent view of your time. I think it adds a lot of knowledge to anything that you're willing to do or that you're interested in or willing to get involved in and be like, hey, let me go learn from what happened in America's Next Top Model world when it comes to having contestants and going after, prizes and being exploited to see, how far you're willing to go. It was a very, very powerful
essentially
watch.
what they were blackballed when they tried to get there, to get into the industry. It was like, we can't let these girls from America's Next Top Model into the fray. So they did all of that for the competition, and their career was never going to take off. My net message before I wrap out is everybody that is skin to you is not for you. So we are living in an age where some people think, oh, it's another black woman, I'm gonna help that other black woman. No, baby. No, baby. You have to understand, it was black people who did Monique the way they did Monique.
Facts.
When she was just saying, hey, if you want me to market this,
just pay
need
me
to be paid.
Correct.
And then she was blackballed for years. So this industry is cutthroat no matter what race you are. Because your own will cut your throat. Okay?
They will.
But you have to know why you're here. And you got to be like that one young lady who was like, you know what, this is not for me, and I'm going to walk away. And don't be, there's no FOMO. Don't be jealous of don't look at anybody else. You don't know what they having to do or what they had to sacrifice or what type of fuckery, excuse my French,
right,
that they had to go through to get to where they are. Don't look at that. Just keep your eyes on the prize. Have your integrity and know what you're willing to walk away from, and vet people. See people in every season, because that's what's going to tell you the truth.
I agree. So before we close, let's sit with this. Representation matters.
Yeah.
It always has, and it always will. Seeing yourself at the top of a platform can definitely inspire, because it inspires me. It validates and it opens imagination. That's hands down.
Yeah.
But representation alone does not dismantle systems. We are learning so much. And proximity to power does not automatically protect you from it. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. You can either enter a system hoping to disrupt it, or you can slowly begin adapting to it to survive. You can start with empowerment in mind,
baby,
and end up defending the very standard you once questioned. Not because you're evil, not because you're malicious, but because power pressures. It pressures you to perform for ratings, status, longevity, and if your identity becomes tied to maintaining the platform, you may begin protecting the platform more than the people. And that's the real tension. This isn't about canceling individuals. We still team Tyra.
Yup, and her ice cream.
Not the ice cream. It's about understanding incentives. It's about recognizing the ambition without accountability can trip. It's about recognizing that ambition without accountability can drift. That success without self-awareness can compromise, that visibility without protection can become exploitation. So the real question isn't just who's at the top. It's what are we willing to risk to protect integrity? Because disruption requires sacrifice, integrity requires courage, and leadership requires restraint. If maintaining power costs you your principles, it doesn't work that way.
Well,
and for anyone building in competitive spaces, entertainment, business, media, remember this. Don't let the system define your standards. Define your standards before you enter the system.
And on that note,
know what you want before you enter the room.
I want to thank you for being a part of this Watts community.
All right.
We would be grateful if you could give us a 5-star rating and share your thoughts on Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
Your support truly assists us in connecting with a wider audience.
Well,
all this good show content and people need to hear this. Y'all need to give us a 5-star rating, because this is the truth right here.
Yes,
this is truth with integrity.
Amen.
Okay? And since you're here, hit the subscribe, follow, favorite button, and join our community here at Watts. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. We do read them. For more information on me and Kachelle and the Watts Podcast Network and all of our hosts, visit the Watts website at wattsproductions.com/podcast. Share this episode with your friends who might find it interesting, because I think you did, because you're here, and we appreciate you, family, and we will see you next time. Peace, love, and kindness.
I love all of that.
So.
I did. Thank you for ending on kindness. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.